Welcome to Storied Audio. Emma had sworn off dating with a kind of dramatic finality usually reserved for movie heroines and people who've just canceled their gym membership. After her breakup, messy, loud, and humiliating, she declared to her friends, her coworkers, and even her barista that she was officially done with men. Not temporarily. Not taking a break.
Done.
She even made a list titled Reasons Men Are Not Worth It, which she taped to her fridge like a warning label. Across town, Noah was making a similar declaration. His long-term relationship had ended in a slow, painful unraveling that left him convinced he'd wasted years on someone who never really saw him. He told his brother he was finished with dating. He told his coworkers. He told his dog, Max, who responded with a sympathetic tail wag. Both of them were determined to avoid romance. Then they met while grocery shopping. She reached for the last box of her favorite cereal at the exact moment Noah reached for it too. Their hands brushed. They both froze. "You can have it," Noah said quickly. No, you take it," Emma insisted. They stared at each other, both stubborn, both tired, both pretending they didn't desperately want that cereal. "Let's split it," Noah finally said. "It's cereal," Emma replied. "How do you split cereal?" He shrugged. "Rock, paper, scissors?" She laughed, unexpectedly, involuntarily. "Fine."
He won.
She rolled her eyes but smiled anyway. As he walked away, he glanced back. She caught him. They both looked away fast. 2 days later, they ran into each other again, this time at a coffee shop. Emma was waiting for her latte when she heard a familiar voice behind her. "Please don't tell me you're following me," Noah said. She turned, smirking. "You wish." He held up his hands.
Fair.
"But for the record, I'm still enjoying this cereal." She snorted.
Good.
"I hope it brings you joy." "It does. Almost as much as beating you at rock, paper, scissors."
She gasped.
"You cheated." "How do you cheat at rock, paper, scissors?" "You hesitated. That's psychological warfare." He laughed, a warm, deep sound that made her chest tighten in a way she did not approve of. They ended up sitting at the same table because the shop was crowded. They talked. They joked. They teased each other. And when they parted ways, both of them pretended they weren't smiling. By the third accidental meeting, at a local park, Emma stopped believing it was coincidence. She was sitting on a bench, reading, when Max trotted up and dropped a slobbery tennis ball in her lap. "Oh," she said. "Hello there." "Max," Noah groaned as he jogged over. "You can't just—" He stopped when he saw her. "You again," Emma said, narrowing her eyes playfully. "I'm not stalking you," he said, "but apparently my dog is." Max wagged his tail like he agreed. They ended up walking together, Max trotting happily between them. The conversation flowed easily, too easily. Emma found herself laughing more than she had in months. Noah found himself watching her smile like it was something rare and precious. But when they reached the end of the trail, they both stepped back, suddenly remembering their vows. "Well," Emma said, clearing her throat, "this was nice." "Yeah," Noah replied. "But just to be clear, I'm not dating anyone. Ever." "Good," she said quickly. "Me neither." "Great. Perfect." They nodded stiffly, both pretending they weren't disappointed, trying not to fall. Over the next few weeks, they kept running into each other, at the bookstore, at the farmer's market, at the dog park. Eventually, they stopped pretending it was accidental and started texting. But they still insisted they weren't dating. They were just talking, and walking, and laughing, and sharing stories, and learning each other's favorite foods, favorite movies, favorite childhood memories. Not dating. Definitely not dating. Emma told herself she didn't trust men. Noah told himself he didn't trust women. But every time they were together, those declarations felt a little less true. One evening, they sat on a hill overlooking the town, watching the sunset paint the sky in soft pinks and golds. "I don't want to like you," Emma said suddenly. Noah blinked. "Well, I don't want to like you either." "Good. Good." They sat in silence. Then Emma sighed. "But I do." "Yeah," Noah admitted quietly. "Me too." They didn't touch. They didn't kiss. They just sat there, two stubborn hearts slowly surrendering. A week later, Emma panicked. She started pulling away, slowly at first, then abruptly. She canceled plans. She took hours to respond to texts. She avoided the places they usually met. No one noticed. Of course he noticed. Finally, he showed up at her door, Max sitting beside him like emotional support. "Are you okay?" he asked. Emma swallowed hard. "I told myself I wouldn't do this again." Do what? Fall for someone.
Trust someone.
Risk getting hurt. Noah exhaled. "Emma, I'm scared too. I told myself I'd never try again. But then you showed up and ruined everything." She laughed through her tears. "Sorry. I'm not," he said softly. She looked at him, really looked at him. The kindness in his eyes, the sincerity, the fear,
The hope.
and she realized something. She wasn't scared because he reminded her of her past. She was scared because he didn't. They didn't jump into a relationship overnight. They didn't pretend their fears vanished magically. They took it slow, slow enough that Emma joked they were moving at glacial speed. But they kept choosing each other. They kept showing up. They kept laughing, teasing, talking, and learning. One evening, months later, they sat on the same hill where they'd first admitted their feelings. Max lay beside them, snoring softly. Noah reached for her hand, hesitant, gentle. Emma didn't pull away. "Still scared?" he asked. "Terrified," she said. "Me too." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "But I think we're going to be okay." He kissed the top of her head.
Yeah.
"I think so too." And for the first time in a long time, they both believed it. Subscribe to the channel for more audio stories.